Energy and power signal. Is height a good measure of strength of a human being? For example, he is having the maximum height in this case. Does it mean that he has the highest strength? Is area a good measure of the strength of a human being? Maybe he will be having a greater area. Is volume a good measure of strength of a human being? Yes, we can see that volume is a good measure of the strength of a human being, because human beings have a cylindrical shape, so it is better to go with volume to find the strength of a human being. So we can see that the size of any entity is a number that indicates the largeness or strength of that entity. So in the case of human beings, volume is the better measure for the strength of a human being. So we can calculate the volume of a human body using this equation, that is V is equal to pi into 0 to capital H r square h dh. So here we are considering the volume of a cylinder. So pi is a constant and this radius is varying with respect to height. So it is depending on the height, and dh is the variable here, and we are integrating within the range 0 to capital H. So we are using V is equal to pi r square h formula to calculate the volume of a human being. Consider the case of signals. In the case of signals, amplitude is not a good measure of the signal because it does not include the duration of the signal. For example, these are delta, theta, alpha, beta waves from the human brain. So if you consider only the amplitudes, then we will not get a better idea about the strength of the signal. So then what is a good measure for the signal? We know that signals are not a 3D shape, it is a two-dimensional plot. So in that case, amplitude is not a good measure. Then what is a good measure? Yes, as you have already guessed, area under the signal. Area under the signal is a good measure of the signal size because it considers both amplitude and duration. So this is the amplitude and this is the duration. So if you calculate the area under this particular signal, it considers both the amplitude and duration of the signal to give a number about the largeness or strength of that particular signal. What is the problem if we try to find the area of the signal? For some kind of signals like this, there are chances that the positive area and the negative areas may cancel each other. For example, we have a positive area here, and if we add the negative area to this positive area, ultimately what happens is that this positive area and negative area will cancel each other. So we will get area is equal to 0. Area is equal to 0. That doesn't mean that the signal is not present there. For example, this sinusoidal signal is our alternating current. It reaches from power stations to our home. If you try to calculate the area of the signal, surely the area is 0. But if we go and touch this particular alternating current signal, we will get a shock. So that means that the signal is present there, but area is not a good measure in this kind of signals. So we need to measure this kind of signals also. We need to include this kind of signals also. What can we do? One thing we can do is that we can square the signal. And we know that the square of the signal is always positive. For example, here this blue color signal is sine omega t, and this red color signal is sine square omega t. We can see that the area of sine square omega t in red color is always positive, and when we add these values you will always get positive, right? So we can avoid the problem of area cancelling each other by squaring the signal. This is a measure for the largeness or strength of the signal, and we call it as E of x. Otherwise we call it as energy of the signal. Energy of the signal, and it is given by area under the curve. So this integral means integral from minus infinity to plus infinity, means that we are trying to find out the area under the curve, and the curve is given by x square t dt. So we are finding the area with respect to the time axis, so that is why it is dt here. We are trying to find the area of the function x square t. We are squaring the signal. So this is the basic idea of energy of a signal. Now what happens in the case of complex signal? We have seen in the previous video that we need to consider complex signal also in signal analysis. So in that case, for a complex signal, magnitude is a better measure for amplitude. So in the case of real signals it is amplitude, but in the case of complex signal it is magnitude. In order to accommodate complex signal also into this energy calculation, we have to write it like magnitude of x of t the whole square dt. So the equation will be like this: Ex, that is energy of the signal, is given by area under the curve, that is integral minus infinity to plus infinity magnitude of x of t the whole square dt, and this particular equation is known as the energy of the signal. This is known as the energy of the signal. Now we have a signal here. This is an example of an aperiodic signal. Aperiodic signal, right? So is this signal has a finite energy or an infinite energy? What is the basic idea of energy? We need to find out the square of the signal, and then we have to find out the area of that particular signal. So if you find the area, you can see that it will be a finite value. It is existing only for a finite duration of the time. We can see that this has a finite value. Here the signal has only finite energy. So after some time the signal become eventually zero, right? So it was zero in the past, it started somewhere in the past, and it will eventually become zero. Because of that reason, this integral will converge, right? So the integral will not blow up, it will converge to a finite value. So we say that this signal has only a finite energy. Such kind of signals are known as energy signals. A signal for which the energy calculation give rise to a finite value, then such kind of signals are known as energy signals. Now consider another signal. So this is not a periodic signal, this is non-periodic signal, but this is an everlasting signal. Okay, this is everlasting signal. So what is meant by everlasting signal? The signal started somewhere in minus infinity and it will go up to plus infinity. Now what happens if we try to calculate the energy of the signal? We have to square the signal. Of course all these negative areas will become positive, and we have to keep on adding all these areas. So this will become positive, so this also will become positive. We have to keep on adding all these areas. What happens, whether this integral will converge? It will go up to an infinite value, because the signal exists from minus infinity to plus infinity. If you compute the area from minus infinity to plus infinity, surely its value will go up to infinity. So because of that reason, we cannot compute energy of such kind of signals. Energy is infinity. We cannot calculate energy for such kind of signals. So in that case, we can find out the time average of the energy we can compute, right? So from smaller classes we have learned that time average of energy is known as power. Right? Time average of energy is known as power. For example, assume that at 12 o'clock you get 10 chocolates, at 1 o'clock you will get 5 chocolates, and at 2 o'clock you will get 11 chocolates, and 3 o'clock you will get some 20 chocolates. So how to find out the average? So in the y-axis we have number of chocolates, and in the x-axis we have time, right? So here we have the number of chocolates, and in the x-axis we have time. So we will take the average, time average, for how many hours you are getting chocolates. With respect to that time, we will take the average. In the same way, since we cannot find out the value of energy here, we have to take the time average. We have to divide the energy computation using the total time. We call it as power. So P of x is equal to limit t tends to infinity. Why t tends to infinity? Because the signal exists from minus infinity to plus infinity. We have to consider a large time. T tends to infinity, 1 by t. So what is the meaning of this 1 by t? We are taking the time average. We have to divide the value of energy using the time, right? So that is the basic idea of time average, and we have to compute the signal from minus t by 2 to t by 2. So the equation will become P of x is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 by t integral minus t by 2 to t by 2 magnitude of xt square dt. So this portion does not change, it is same xt square dt, but we have to find out this time average using this limit t tends to infinity 1 by t, and the upper limit and lower limit of the integral will change to minus t by 2 to t by 2. So this is how we find out the strength of a everlasting signal. This is known as the mean square value of the magnitude of the signal. Why it is called mean square value? Because we are squaring it here, and using this 1 by t, we are finding out the mean of the signal. So because of that two terms, we call it as mean square value of the magnitude of the signal, because we are already finding magnitude here, right? So this is also known as mean square value of the magnitude of the signal. Now consider this everlasting periodic signal. Everlasting periodic signal. Is the energy finite or infinite for everlasting periodic signals? Yes, of course. If this is starting from minus infinity and going up to infinity, its energy will be infinity, because a signal exists for infinite duration of time, right? So you cannot calculate the energy of such kind of signals. We have to calculate the power of the signal, and for a periodic signal the power is calculated only for one cycle. Whatever power calculation you do for a cycle will be equal to all the cycles, right? So it is not necessary that you have to calculate from minus infinity to plus infinity. You have to calculate only for one cycle. That will be equal to the average power in the case of periodic signals. Maybe for example, if you calculate, you will get 8, some number 8. Here also you will get some number 8. Here also you will get some number 8. Here also you will get some number 8. If you take the average of all these things, again you will get 8, right? So no need to calculate for the whole minus infinity to plus infinity time duration. You have to calculate only for a cycle. So the formula will modify like this. P of x is equal to, there is no limit t tends to infinity. Instead we will use 1 by t0, and this t0 is known as period of the signal. This t0 is known as period of the signal, and the integration range is from minus t0 by 2 to t0 by 2. Half of the period in the left side and half of the period in the right side. So within that area we are calculating the integral. So this part does not change, that is magnitude of xt square dt. So this is the formula for calculating the power of an everlasting periodic signal. To compute power of a signal, either the signal must have a statistical regularity or it must be a periodic signal. See here, this is not periodic. This signal is not periodic. Here this signal is periodic, but it has a statistical regularity. We can find out the value using some statistical methods. In that case, the formula will be like this. P of x is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 by t integral minus t by 2 to t by 2 xt square dt. But here in the case of periodic signal, the equation is like this. P of x is equal to 1 by t0, where t0 is the period of the signal, integral minus t0 by 2 to t0 by 2 xt square dt. So this is the difference between a non-periodic everlasting signal and a periodic everlasting signal, right? So what happens if we try to calculate the power of an energy signal, right? So this energy signal is a periodic signal. This is a periodic and finite, right? A periodic and finite signal. And what happens if we try to calculate the power of an energy signal? What is the basic idea of power calculation? We are dividing the energy of the signal using the whole time, right? And t tends to infinity. We already know that the energy is finite here. The energy is finite here. If we try to divide this finite value using a large value, what happens? Ultimately this will become 0, right? So if you try to calculate the power of an energy signal, then you will get power as 0, because the calculation is with respect to a large time. So a finite number divided by a large time will give the value as 0. So for an energy signal, the power will be 0. The power calculation will result in 0 value, right? So because of that reason, we can define the energy signal and power signal as shown here. Energy signals are those that have finite energy, right? Finite energy and 0 power, right? If a signal has a finite energy and 0 power, then such signals are known as energy signals. See here, the energy is less than infinity. That means it is finite. It is finite, right? And power is equal to 0. Such signals are known as energy signal. I have shown an example here, right? We have considered this signal. Coming to the power signal, power signals are those that have finite power, right? It has a finite power, but it has infinite energy, right? Infinite energy. That is the very reason we go for power calculation, because if you try to calculate the energy, it will go to an infinite value. That is the only reason we go for power calculation. So power signals are signals, those have a finite power and an infinite energy. See, you can see here energy is infinite and power is finite, right? Less than infinity means this is finite, right? So it can be a periodic signal or a non-periodic everlasting signal. So this is non-periodic everlasting signal. A periodic everlasting signal is also an example for a power signal. We can see some interesting facts about power signals. All periodic signals are power signals. See, all periodic signals are power signals, right? Because it exists from minus infinity to plus infinity. But we cannot say that all power signals are periodic signal. All power signals are not periodic signal, because this is a power signal, this is a power signal, but it is not periodic. We have to keep this idea in mind. All periodic signals are power signals. Of course, they are power signals, but all power signals are not periodic signal. Example is this non-periodic everlasting signal, right? Another fact, a power signal must necessarily have an infinite duration. Why we go for power calculation? Because of the infinite existence from minus infinity to plus infinity. It is an everlasting signal, right? That is the only reason we go for power signals. Power signal must necessarily have an infinite duration. Then only we will go for the power calculation. And there are some signals which are neither energy and nor power signals. For example, this signal, see, this signal does not end. It will go up to infinity, right? Its value go up to infinity when time moves towards the right side, right? So what happens? Even if you calculate energy or power, it will result in infinite value. It will not fall under our definition of energy signal or power signal. So we call them as neither energy nor power signals. Exponential signals are another example. See, this also will go up to infinity when time moves to the right. So here also the energy and power will not converge. The integrals of energy and power will not converge. It will blow up. So it will not fall under our definition of energy and power signals. They are neither energy nor power signals. Can a signal exist as a power signal and energy signal at the same time? No, a signal cannot be both energy and power signal at the same time. If it is an energy signal, then it's not a power signal. For example, this is an energy signal, so it is not a power signal. This is a power signal, so it is not an energy signal. This is also a power signal, so it is not an energy signal. So a signal cannot be both energy signal and power signal at the same time. All practical signals are energy signals. All practical signals we encounter in our laboratory or simulation or real life are energy signals. Why? Because we cannot create an infinite energy signal in the laboratory, because we have only finite energy, right? So we cannot create an infinite energy signal. So all practical signals are energy signals. Voltage and current signals generated in the laboratory, then signals that occur in electronic devices, all these are examples of energy signals. And we can say that true power signals does not exist in reality, right? It is impossible to generate a true power signal in practice, because a true power signal must have infinite energy, right? A true power signal must have an infinite energy. So such a signal cannot be generated in the laboratory, right? This concept of power signal exists only in mathematical manipulation, right? Many of the time for mathematical manipulation we need this concept of power signal, but that does not exist in reality. So far we have learned about the power signal and energy signal in the case of continuous time signals. The same ideas can be extended to DT signals or discrete time signals also. I'm not going to explain about DT signals separately, but the equations are simply modified. See, here the integral is not there. Instead of the integral we are using the summation, because a continuous signal means we need to find out the area under the curve using integration. Here the signal is discrete in nature, so we have to add the values of the samples. So because of that reason we get summation. Instead of xt square, here it is xn square, right? Xn square. So that is the only difference. In the case of power also you can see the same. Here limit n tends to infinity, 1 by 2n plus 1. So this is to take n samples in the left side and n samples in the right side. If you take n samples in the left side and right side including 0, you will get 1 by 2n plus 1. Summation varies from minus n to plus n xn square to calculating the power of an everlasting signal. In the case of everlasting periodic signal, no need of including the limit n tends to infinity. You can calculate using this particular formula, that is p of x is equal to 1 by 2n plus 1 summation minus n to plus n x of n square. So this is the basic ideas of energy and power signals, and all the equations corresponding to continuous time case and discrete time are available on the screen.